Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Unspoken Truth. I am Jay Black, the owner of Jay Black & Co. And this, I don't know where you see her, how you see her, but this is the Kyna B. Yay!
Yes, yeah. Where's the applause? We need applause. We need all the things. But
We'll do
again,
it
it's coming.
manually for right now.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming.
When we get really fancy, then we'll have like all the things. But
Yes.
with the Unspoken Truth, we give you the behind the scenes inside look at building, developing, and scaling your coaching business. And we do it with some seasoned industry pros. We provide solution support and resources to help you build your business the right way. It's always unfiltered and it's always the truth. Kyna and I have been in the coaching industry, whether it's as implementers or as coaches ourselves, working side by side with some of your prominent coaches that you know. So we've done that for over 15 years. So we know what we are talking about. So what you're going to get um,
Yes.
are not only, truths, experiences, little anecdotes, and resources and things like that, but we're also going to give you strategies. So if I'm going to tell you not to do something, I'm going to tell you what to do to replace that. So, which makes sense, right? So today, we're going to talk about do you really need do you really need a mastermind? Are they still
Hmm.
relevant? Is that
Hmm.
still the thing to do? Well, we're going to talk about it.
Hmm.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
Yes.
So let me ask you. Okay, so let's first back up. Let's talk about what a mastermind is. What do you think? How would you describe a mastermind, Kyna?
So, I think the biggest thing for me is that you have not necessarily a group of like-minded people, um, but a group of people who are looking to grow, scale, strengthen their business in some way, shape, or form. And you have potentially a guide. I'm gonna call the coach the guide. And the reason why I say a guide is because having a mastermind does not and should not mean that you know everything. As a matter of fact, when you're in a mastermind, each person should be able to bring something to the table that's going to help elevate the other members of that mastermind. If it's a group where you are, and I'm talking to the business owner, it's you and you are essentially bringing a group of people together, and you're the one that's responsible for making their business or whatever's going on with them better. That's not a mastermind. That's actually a group coaching program. And
Right.
so you want to think of a mastermind as something where there is a group of people who bring their geniuses to the table, and you're willing and able to share that genius with another person. And let me just say, mastermind should also have a component of accountability. So if you're in a situation where you've been in a mastermind for, let's say, a year and you haven't seen any progress, I would highly consider you removing yourself from that situation, for a lot of reasons. Because it could be you, but if it's something where you, as the coach, the business owner, you're not seeing any progress in the with the people who are in that mastermind, you might need to reconsider the structure. So that's one of those unfiltered things.
Well, you know what? I really love that you showed the distinction between a mastermind and group coaching. I think a lot of coaches will create a mastermind and it's actually a group coaching program.
Yep.
And they miss the element, to me, they miss the element of really giving credit to their audience. Even though you do need to establish yourself as the expert, you are the coach, you are the captain of this ship. Yes. However, you don't know everything. And there is definitely one way to skin a cat. Now that I think about it, why do we say that?
I don't know. Don't know, because as
like,
soon as you said it, I was like, I don't want to skin a cat.
I know. I was like, okay. So there's more than one way to do a thing. How about that?
There you go.
There's more than one way, and so what may work for one person may not work for another, and that's okay. Your job as the coach is to support them through that process. And if the person that does something different, if they fall and bump their head, be there to support them. If they're going down that road that is different, contrary to what you have outlined, or what you know, then okay, you're doing that. I'm going to hold you accountable to this. That's how you can support them through this mastermind and still hold on to your level of expertise, but then give them credit for them also being intelligent, and knowing what works well in their lives. I think, some coaches may feel if they give up a little bit of control that they've lost control of the whole thing. And
Right.
it's like, oh, and I'm not the leader of this. No, no. It shows more of a leadership if you know who has strengths, who knows who's doing well, how you can support them, what areas that you can support them in. Those are different leadership attributes that a real coach should have whenever they're holding a mastermind. And the thing is that a mastermind should be utilizing, empowering people to use their mind.
Yeah.
Those different perspectives. Isn't that why it's called a mastermind? But you should celebrate the diversity of perspectives in this group, and then support them in this journey. If it's something way off base, then as a leader, you know how to pull them back in.
Exactly.
So those things you have to think about with a mastermind and understanding how that differs from group coaching. If you want to hold a group coaching that has some mastermind features, okay. But understand that it's still a group coaching program.
Exactly.
If you're like, okay, Jay, that sounds okay. So now that I know this, I don't want to do that. Should I change my mastermind? You don't have to right now go and, okay, so I'm saying, Coaches Live Mastermind. Okay, that's the title of your business. Do you need to do that right now? Okay, no. But you can continuously let them know, hey, this is a group coaching program. Yes, it has elements of a mastermind in it, but this is a group group coaching program, in this group coaching program. I love group coaching. The more you emphasize that, the more it drills into other people that this is what they are a part of. This is the goal. This is what to expect from it. And that's how you can right that ship. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to like rebrand yourself and all of that, now that you understand the difference and what you've already set up is not a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that. You can just course correct
Yes.
and
Yep.
let them know that, hey, I understand, I have a different understanding, I have been enlightened, and so this is what I need to do. But so now that we understand the difference between the two, Kyna, what are you seeing as far as a trend for 2025? So, this is for those of you who are new coaches. You're thinking about putting your high ticket program together, or you have a vision, and your vision is to, I want to have like this mega mastermind. If that's your goal, and you now understand what a mastermind is and it's still your goal, okay, cool. If you are thinking about constructing one and launching it for 2025, Kyna, what is the trend? What is the community, the industry saying right now? What do you see?
So, a couple things. Our masterminds now, and then you're going to hear me talk a little bit about what has happened in the past, but masterminds now are becoming more exclusive. Meaning, because here, this is what I'm about to share a dirty secret. Um, this is what has come out.
Ooh, tell it all. Tell it all.
I mean, but with these, you learn the lessons. In the last 5, 6, maybe even 7, probably longer years, there were a lot of masterminds that were created. And there were several problems with some of the masterminds. I mean, depending on who was running it, you can go down the list. But the thing about having a mastermind and being in one is this word that we use for a lot of things, and it's called clarity.
Mm.
Clarity in what it is that you want to do, clarity in who you are, and clarity in what it is that you need. Now, if you heard what I said, then you will understand that with each one of those elements, there are potential problems. So, for newer coaches, there's a lot of things that you have to become clear about. And what could happen and what did happen with masterminds over the last 5 or 6 years is that without that clarity, all of a sudden, Jay introduces her way of doing things. And now, because I'm not clear, I am now following what Jay did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that what Jay did is not working for me. And somebody else in that mastermind introduces me to their way. And now all of a sudden, I am doing what they're doing.
Right.
And so, as you can see, that can become a problem for a lot of reasons. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you, all of a sudden, your business is no longer your business. It's now part of what Jay has done, part of what Susie has done, part of what Kyna has done. And the essence of what you wanted to create it is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you, all of a sudden, you're blaming the mastermind. Like, it's their fault. No, it's not their fault. It's the fault. The fault lies with you in that you weren't clear in what it was that you needed. You weren't clear with the business that you were trying to build. And unfortunately, the person who introduced you or sold you into the mastermind didn't see or didn't care, don't know, that that clarity wasn't there. And for me, I always said that's a setup. Like, it's a setup because there's some things that you need to do in order for you not to be swayed so easily into
Uh-oh.
doing what everybody in the group is doing. The other thing that came out of a lot of masterminds is that people need therapy. Like, did you hear the pause? Jay,
Not people need therapy.
Jay, Jay, we say mastermind? If your mind is not right, what do you think is going to happen in said
Not
group?
your mind ain't
And
right.
as much as Jay's laughing, and I'm laughing too, but it was just, your mind is not right. And there's nothing wrong with it. But it was one of those things that, and I'm laughing because I'm thinking about a specific coach. I'm like, yeah, you didn't need to create that mastermind. You needed to go to therapy, sis. Like, because all your stuff unfortunately came out in that mastermind. And I'm like,
Oh my
yeah, but see,
goodness.
that's,
I tell you, we live up to the name, don't we? We live up to the name. You are getting the unfiltered truth.
look, I said it a couple episodes ago. I can no longer stay muted about the truth.
And
And
you
some
shouldn't.
people don't want to hear that, but it was true and it is true. Some of y'all don't need to
Right.
be in no mastermind. You need to go to therapy. You need to figure out who you are. And, it is not to say you need to stop your business, but there is just an element that I'm like, oh my, now I know why her program would have never worked. It was because of her. So, yeah, Jay. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I
Well,
had to
I
put
was
it
about
out
to say,
there.
don't be sorry. Don't be sorry about the truth. Don't be sorry. Um, but here's the thing. If you're not okay, so if you're hosting or thinking to be a part of, you need clarity. To Kyna's point, you need to, whenever you show up. Okay, let me back up. I have a client, and we're gonna call her Kim. So, Kim, I work with her as a business strategist and also as her COO. So, she came to me. Her business was a wreck. We got her business together. And at the time, I didn't know. She came to me for one thing, for one project. And so she ended up being a retained client. So as we're working together, I come to find out that she has not one coach, but two coaches. And she's a part of a mastermind. Right. Okay. So that's a lot. So if you have your COO, you have
Hmm.
your coach A, coach B, and a mastermind, how many people are in your ear? So when it's time to put rubber on the road and to implement the strategy, what strategy are we implementing? Your COO, what am I overseeing? What am I making sure gets done? Because if today we're doing strategy A, then you go to your mastermind and you hear Susie, she's over here in her strategist or her coach or what she came up with in the mastermind. She's doing this and she has three new clients just from last week. If you're not bringing in clients, also that's what I need to do. You have not, you don't, your audience is not hers, number one. Your business is not hers, number two. Your methodology, your your theory for approaching and how you approach coaching, working with your clients, your programs, That's not hers. So why are you trying to copy and paste what worked for her into your business? That doesn't make any sense. That's why I built J Black and Co. the way that I have, where you don't get cookie cutter type strategies. There's some things that are fundamental, yes. However, everybody's business, everybody's background, everybody's desires, vision is different. Not everybody wants to be a multi-millionaire coach. Not everyone wants to have a 15-member team.
Hmm.
Not everybody wants to grow fast. Not everybody wants to do group coaching. So why am I going to do a copy and paste on a person's business or their business strategy? That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
And to me, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of money. And you're in business not to waste time or money. If anything, you want to make money and save time, right? So why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense. But so with Kim, it was trying to funnel out, and eventually she got it. I could say it till I was blue in the face, which I did, but she got that. Okay, I have too many people in my ears,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't stick to one strategy long enough to see if it works or not. So, my thing with if you're going to add a mastermind to your business, or if you want to join a mastermind, be clear on what your vision is, be clear on what you want to give. If you're hosting a mastermind, what do you want to give in this mastermind? You have to look at your bandwidth. What can you provide? If
Yep.
you're saying that, okay, we meet twice a week or twice a month or something like that, can you sustain that? Because, okay, the other thing that you're in is you're in business to have a sustainable business, not something for 1 to 5 years. You want something that's going to help support your life or impact your lifestyle, right? Support the lifestyle that you want or you envision or that you currently have. You just don't want to stay in this job. So, if having a mastermind, if that's going to pull on you and you're not able to sustain that, boo boo, don't have a mastermind. Um, that seems simple. Like if you don't want one and one to make two, get rid of the other one.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so so think about that. If you're thinking about joining a mastermind, be clear on what you're going into that mastermind for,
Right.
and stay focused and understand that your business is not their business. You are not them. Their audience isn't your audience. Stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
But here's another thing that I've seen about masterminds this year. It's still relevant. So to answer the
Absolutely.
question for of this podcast, yes, it's still relevant. It's still relevant.
Yeah, and
However,
necessary. And
right.
necessary. Yes. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
definitely. However, what I am noticing is that there's a decrease on how many new ones are popping up.
Rightfully so.
Right.
Rightfully so.
I'm seeing, and I see now going back to what we were talking about with group coaching and masterminds. What I am seeing is the ping pong between one-on-one coaching and group coaching. One-on-one, which one is right? Which, I see coaches who have built a group coaching program and they are dismantling it, or they're not focusing so much on it, but now pivoting and doing one-on-one coaching. I'm also seeing coaches who have a one-on-one program, and they're trying to convert that into a group coaching program. So that's what I'm seeing popping up more. So I'm not saying that if you're clear about what your mastermind is, what it's for, you're able to sustain it. If all those things, all the lights are green, should you go ahead and launch it? Yes. However, I'm always cautious. Don't give up what you're currently doing,
Absolutely not. Yep.
striving for what you're trying to build or trying to launch. So if you have one-on-one coaching or group coaching, whatever the case is, continue to pour into that, continue to show up, continue to do that while you are building this mastermind. And start small. Start small with your mastermind. There is nothing wrong with having maybe 3 people in your mastermind.
At all. At all.
That is because this is what I'm big on. I'm big on proving the concept.
Yep. Yep.
Before you go all in, prove the concept.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if this is what you want to do, let's test it out. Let's run it. If you want it to be a 6-month program, try it for 3 months.
Yep.
See if you get good vibes there, if you're able to sustain it there. In our heads, we're able to be superwoman, and I can do all the things that are on my to-do list, even though there may be 4. I can do all of them today because it's just 4. But I'm not considering that, 3 of them may take me like 3 hours to do.
Right. Twice as long as what I think it's going to take me.
Right. So, we have in our minds that we can do all these amazing things, but, we may not be able to do it. And that's okay.
Yep.
So if you figure out that, okay, I'm not able to sustain this mastermind, that's okay. You still have your group coaching, or you still have your one-on-one coaching. You've experimented. You didn't have to pour money into ads. You didn't have to do a whole bunch of marketing with it. You didn't have to hire a special marketer or ad specialist, and you didn't have to do all of that just to figure out if this worked or not.
Yes.
And what you can do is, if you already have a group coaching or one-on-one coaching that's thriving, which is, let's say that's when you should be thinking about a mastermind, not before that, but, and I'll get to that in a second, but if you have a healthy group coaching or one-on-one practice, you can pull, those 3 individuals from there to start to test this mastermind to see if it works or not. And then, if it works, then if it works, then you can give them, a discount rate for access, or they could be grandfathered in, or whatever you decide to do with that. But yeah, you can pull from there. Now, if you are new to us, we build our philosophy and our methodology with working with our clients based on the 4 phases of building a profitable and impactful and sustainable coaching business. And that's the build phase, where you're laying the foundation. The strengthen phase, where you're strengthening that foundation, you're getting a healthy, more consistent flow of clients. You're starting to add more funnels, more systems and processes. You're starting to add more there under the strengthen phase. Grow phase. Grow phase is where your groups are popping.
I got 2 groups, and I'm about to go to 4.
Right. I've launched a few times successfully. Or if you're doing one-on-one coaching, okay, now my calendar's kind of full. I need to look at this. That's where you are in the growth phase, where your marketing strategy is working, your business strategy is working. So your car is moving. And then there's the scale. This is where you're talking about creating podcasts, whenever you're talking about doing retreats, when you're talking about being on huge stages and things of that nature. You are that chick at that
You
point, right?
you got a team. You like, listen, I'm getting ready to have a team. You're like, I want this bigger, and I need to write books, and like you're doing all the things because your business essentially is set almost to run by itself, which that is the premise of a business, Jay. Anyway,
Hello. Hello.
it took a while to get to that point because you're being sold that you being by yourself is a business, and I'm like, yeah, but if I get sick or I need to take vacation, things stop.
Exactly.
Ah. Anyway, that's another conversation for another day.
Here's the thing. And you know what? This is what you can have and it could be, let me back up. It could be disheartening whenever you look at the stages and you're like, oh, I'm not there yet. I thought I was, but I'm not. Well, I want to launch a podcast. I want to be a speaker. I want to license out my coaching program. I want to blah, 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 blah. So, am I wrong to do that? No. There is nothing wrong with having the big picture. There's nothing wrong with having a big picture because we all have a vision. However, you don't have to launch everything at once.
Guilty.
In one and in one phase, you don't have to be like, okay, here's everything in the build phase. Here, I'm launching my business, so I'm giving you everything. I need to have my program done. I need to have a VA and a marketer. I need to have this person and that person. I need this and that, and I need to have all the handouts, and I need to
I'm exhausted.
listen, Linda. Listen, Linda.
Linda.
Linda, Karen, because both of
Michelle,
the
whomever you are, listen.
Shaniqua, because y'all be doing the most. All of you do the most. Sit down. Just sit down.
Look, and Kyna. I'm adding my
And
own name in
Jay.
there because I
Okay.
have done the
Okay.
most too.
I have. That is what I was. I was that chick.
Yes.
That's why I
Yes.
can say this. You're doing the most.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
guess what? Burning the candle at both ends. Guess what? You have a burnt candle. That's what you got.
We need to try that. Can we actually just show like what it actually looks like to burn candle at both ends?
You know what? It doesn't work because at the bottom, it's just wax. So it's just
And the little
like,
silver thing.
right.
You're like, yeah, it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. Um, but the thing is, it's just sit down. Just sit
Yes.
down. You're doing the
Yes.
most. Now, to go through each of these phases, is it going to take like 2 years to go through the build phase, 3 years to go through the strengthen phase? No. Actually, you can go through at least two of them in 1 year.
Absolutely.
You
Easily.
could. Yeah. You it doesn't have to be like, okay, I've been in business for 7 years and I'm just at the strengthening phase. If you said that, then I'll be like, girl.
What has been well, I wouldn't say girl. So this is me. So Jay's response just now is someone that's coming from the school of you asked me to do it, I'm doing it. No questions asked. I'm not trying to figure out why. I'm just doing it. Whereas I'm looking at it like, oh, I understand why it took them 6 or 7 years. They was dealing with the stuff with all the things and couldn't get past themselves in order to move quickly. So yeah, so when I hear that, oh yeah, I'm just at the strengthen phase, and I'm 7 years in. Oh yeah, you was dealing with some things,
See,
and
that's why she's the coach. And I'm the consultant and strategist. I'm like, girl, what you been doing? Where
like
was
that's
your strategy? What was your friends? What was your accountability partner? What it, and if you were dealing with all the things, what was you dealing with?
you got a
Honey,
team too, you got VA too. What? Why did it take you that long? Do you want me to answer for you? And I don't even know you.
why did you spend all that money on a VA when you could have had a strategist to help you get that going? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'll tell you why, Jay. Because that's what everybody is selling. Get a VA, and the VA will scale your business. No, they won't. And I'm just straight up telling you that. No, they won't.
You know what I feel like? I feel like Kendra said, you lied. You lied.
Now, Jay. Now we
I
don't
know.
use
I
those
just had
such
to.
hard words.
I know, because okay, for those, if this is your first time coming in, we have a whole like live where we did a parallel of your coaching business and Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. So go ahead and check that out. It's going to be on YouTube next week. And for those who are joining us on Instagram, you can go to my feed and it's at J Black and Co. And you can see it there. But yeah,
I
we
told you
break
to be
that
talking
down.
about
So
this.
but
Yes.
we're, and here's the thing, we will bring, cultural references, uh, and, pop culture into the conversation so that, you'll be able to relate with what we're coming from because that's what we do.
Yes. And we're no
But
longer hiding that because I know for a long time I was like, Jay, yes, we're on a tangent now. I was like, Jay, you don't know a lot about music and movies. Why are we not integrating that in the stuff? And Jay was like, I, oh, I don't know.
exactly. You get in the
But
feeling, I need to be professional. It's like, child, please.
yes, that whole not, and I'm calling that nonsense. So you will hear me say that things are nonsense a lot, and that was some nonsense because we just
Yeah.
had this. I don't know. It reminds me of my pictures that I took when I first got in business. Like I had a whole suit on, a wig on, where my hair was nice and laid, and I'm like, I looked at those pictures now. I'm like, who was that? That's not me.
Did you get the I came across something that you had like years ago. Did you? Oh my goodness. And to
Yes.
see you all, I will show on one of our lives. I'll show you what I came into business with. Don't you know that my first business name was Charlotte Enterprise? Is that not like so
Vanilla.
right? But I was like, you have to know that I'm like, I'm this chick. I'm not. I'm professional. I know my stuff. I know how to get you organized. I know how to help you build your business. Even though this is my first business, but I was pulling on. But I was pulling on my years of experience in working with corporate America and
Yep.
actually building and managing teams and things of that nature. So I was like, I got this.
Yep.
So it was Charlotte Enterprise, and oh my goodness, and the cover of my flyer, if that says anything, people, the color of my on the cover of my flyer had two men shaking hands.
Two men.
Two men.
All right. All right. And it's nothing like, hold on, let me just say there's nothing wrong with men at all. Like,
No,
I'm not
no, no.
saying that, but it was not a representation of who you were. Like, again, the whole suit and like, you're right. On one of our lives, we need to bring like stuff because I still got a business card or two or three that you could tell that I wasn't ordinary, but I was trying to fit. Like I had a square card, and I
Yeah.
did that so that it would stand out from the other cards. But once
Mm-hmm.
y'all see the card, y'all be like, I can't read it. 5-star virtual service. What? What is that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to see how the industry has changed and we've had to pivot in our business, so we understand what it is to pivot and how to have create something and not understand what it means and launch it and then get in the middle of it because I know I have and be like,
I didn't get that piece of information.
right, this is not what I had in mind. I had something else in mind. So so yeah, if so we understand that we've been there, done it, got t-shirts representing it proudly.
Hmm.
uh so we understand. So what we tell you whenever we suggest to make a pivot, we understand that it may certain pivots are harder to do than others. We get it. We understand that you're going to need support when you make these pivots. We understand that you need resources
Yes,
whenever you make these pivots.
absolutely.
You need if you're going to pivot, you definitely need a strategy because you need to understand to what you're pivoting to.
Hmm.
So we get it. We're doing this like we said. We want you to build your business the right way. We want to try to eliminate all the drama, all the headaches, all the scars that you're going to incur in building a business by using our own experiences in doing so. So, going back to the question, are masterminds relevant? They are. You can host a webinar, not webinar, excuse me, a mastermind, but it would be best profitable and all around just a
Sus-
better idea if you do
Sustainable.
it right. If you do it whenever you're in the growth phase, don't start out with your high ticket offer or your main signature program being a mastermind. That's not that's a hard sell and that's a hard pill to swallow. Whenever you're trying to market that, so
Did you see
especially
that
when
question? Did you see the question, Jay?
uh no, what was the question?
Listen,
Let's see. Let's go back. Let's
that may
see.
not know.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for those that may not know, so me, exactly how would a strategist help my small business? Okay. A strategist, this is what I was just talking to someone about this yesterday. And thank you so much for that question, Baby's Booty. I know.
Love the fans.
Yes. So I'm gonna put this here. Okay. So how will we know? Or the strategist to understand where you want to go in your business. You need someone to understand where you are, where you want to go. A strategist puts those stepstones, those milestones in your path to get you from where you are to where you want to go. They understand think of it like if you're on one side of a mountain, there's another side of the mountain, and you want to go from where you are to there, right? So imagine there's lava. There's lava underneath, right? A strategist can see the steps you need to take to cross that hot lava to get to the other side. They understand, okay, if you step here, okay, but that's a small pebble. So the likelihood of you getting burnt by that lava is about 99%. However, if you angle your body a certain way, you'll be able to jump and get to this larger stone or boulder that's standing right there that can help you get further, or that can prevent you from stepping on this in this lava. So that's how a strategist can help you. They understand where the dangers are. They eliminate or reduce the risks
That
for you,
word. That word.
and they come up with, I don't want to say a plan, because that's the next thing I do. So then I help you develop a plan. So when I said, okay, so turn your body this way, then jump this way to get to that rock or to that boulder, that's what a strategist also does. They tell you how to get to the next milestone. What are the steps that you need to take to get there? How do you need to position yourself? What are the processes that are needed to get from point A to point B to point C? So I hope that explained that, Eve, about
Yeah,
how to
and
get what a
a
strategist can do.
strategist. Yes, and I loved that analogy, Jay, because it really does help us identify the difference between you and I. We always talk about, how will people know what's different between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay just told you the steps of how to get to the other side of the mountain with the lava in the middle. I'm in your ear saying, you got this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, we need to deal with whatever's going on, whatever happened before you got here. Like, we need to put that to the side for a minute because our focus right now needs to be on that. Whereas Jay's like, can you just jump to the rock? Like, come on now. And and so yes, do I have strategy? Yeah, sure do. But I'm more so of that. I'm the coach. I'm the hype woman. I'm the one that's going to say, like, listen, you got this. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with your ability. You're going to make mistakes. You may even lose a toe because the lava done got you. But I'm still going to encourage you to keep going, to keep moving towards that very thing that you want. So I love that analogy, Jay, because I'm like, oh, I can visualize that.
Yeah, because once you get on that rock, you take that next step or that first step or whatever the case is, and it may be scary to go to take the next step.
Not even
So to have
maybe.
someone, oh,
It's
because it
gonna
definitely
be.
is going to be right. So to have a coach that's, or an accountability partner that's going to be like, hey, you got this. Okay, why envision? Why are you doing this? Da, 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 da. Or being real with you and saying, okay, so how did we get to this other side of the mountain? Why were you there? So how can we like not get there again? So to be that person that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to be, I know some coaches don't like it, but like this word, but cheerleader, because
Because you are.
that's
Don't
what you're
let me
doing.
just stop. Because you
Right.
are.
Right. It's like the other stuff you don't worry about. And I'm like, that's making y'all look crazy. But okay, I digress. But anyway, so that's why Kyna and I work so well together. We have clients that we work with together because that extra cheerleading, that extra accountability, that extra let's dig deep, let's. Kyna got that for you. Kyna got that for you. She got it in spades.
Spades. Yes. Because I love it. I absolutely love it. I just love seeing, like, again, because we got to wrap up, but I love seeing people for where they are, like good, bad, or indifferent, and saying, like, I see something in you. And that's normally what happens. I'm like, I see something in you that you're not seeing in yourself. So
Right.
let's go. Let's go. We got this.
Don't
So
that make you feel better? Don't you? You're like, yes, I can. There is something inside of me
yes. Yes, sis. Let's
that is
go.
making this podcast.
Miss I am what is that? What's the word that you use that you are Jay, not outgoing.
Oh,
Um,
I'm an introvert.
there, that word. I'm like, yes, that Miss Introvert.
Yeah,
It's
I am
like Jay was
definitely an introvert.
introvert, and I'm like, where? What introverted? Where?
Cause I'm in my own little studio. I'm like, this is Casey Kasem. Like I'm doing that. I'm not like, meeting 15 new people. But at any rate, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all so much for joining us live. Those of you on YouTube, on Facebook, also on Instagram, thank you so much. I'm Jay. Again, this is Kyna B. We are forming something so special that I cannot wait to share with you all. It's something fabulous. So if you enjoyed this episode of the Unspoken Truth, please make sure that you share it, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel where you're seeing it. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you're following either one of us. You can find her, and let me put it here on social. On Instagram, you can find her at Kyna B. You can also find me at jblackandco.com, jblackandco. So make sure you're following us on all socials. Also, we're going to be coming back next week. We come to you live, unfiltered, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're joining us live. Just stay and wait, please. Just stay and wait. Come back,
Yes,
stay and wait,
yes.
because some wonderful things are in the pipelines for you to help support you, to provide the solutions, to provide the resources, like we said, to help you build your business the right way. So Just hold on. All right, y'all. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us live, watching the replay. You could have been doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend this time with us. And we are eternally grateful and thankful. All right, y'all. Bye. Okay.